Now we go back to a time when dinosaurs ruled the earth. I wish we were doing a series of unfortunate events.
Open audition and make a new track. I hit reduce reverb to stop the feedback. There is a danger I can peek for you. More hear the outside noise of the adjoining room. Fifth period. About films that we're screening.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fifth Period, the film podcast hosted by two media teachers, where today we are heading back to the Cretaceous period to find the Great Valley. And joining us are a bunch of dinos that weren't actually from the Cretaceous period. My name is Mr. Brown, and with me as always is...
Mr. Boylan here. Speaking of before the Cretaceous period, I feel like it's been that long since we didn't have a camera in our face.
My God, I missed it. I missed it.
We're back in audio form only. We're not dressing up as dinosaurs for this.
I was going to say that we were.
When we are,
That's just for us.
Yeah, we've just rocked up in dinosaur costumes and deliberately done an audio. So if you hear any swishing around, it's the sound of dinosaurs.
That is what they say.
But yeah, I missed this on a Friday, so I'm keen to get into it.
Nice, let's do it. In addition to talking The Land Before Time today, we will also be doing our weekly watches and a dinosaur-themed movie mashups. So if you want to skip ahead to anything, I will leave time codes in the description below.
Hi, it's Jasmin, and today we'll be talking about The Land Before Time.
A big thank you to Jasmin for her intro to the pod today and for her suggested film for the week. Now, this suggestion was made so long ago that dinosaurs still roamed the earth, but we have been promising that we would return to it because we only do one animated film a term.
Yes.
So we've had a couple of roadblocks where we already had a few that were lined up from previous suggestions, and then when it came to term 4, we knew we were going to do this, but we've had themed week after themed week.
It really has been. So finally a spot on the sked, on the sked,
As the kids say.
Quite often the typical abbreviation of schedule.
Yeah, so much quicker.
I think there's like a program, like a scheduling program or app called Sked.
Sked.
So there you go.
There you go.
Someone else thought of it. But yeah, a space opened up for the dinosaurs to roam around in the land before time. Very good. Thanks, Jim Carrey. Like I said, I missed on Friday the screening of this. But how was it received?
Fairly well. Yeah, I think people were kind of pleasantly surprised. Not a lot of people necessarily knew about it, but the animation style was very awe-inspiring. Lots of people were like, wow, this looks pretty incredible. And early on when they're just like world building, it's pretty awesome. This was one from my childhood. I think you said you watched it when you were younger as well. I watched it a lot and I didn't remember all that much. So as much as I wanted to thank Jasmin for her patience, I also wanted to thank her for keeping it on our radar because it was one that I wanted to return to, and it was nice to have an excuse to do that.
I'm glad that Jasmin didn't let this suggestion go extinct and kept it alive. I always wondered, sort of, have the kids of today cottoned onto or watched the 25 sequels and they've found it that way, or they've watched the OG. So no, it was a really good suggestion from Jasmin. Really, really appreciated that one.
Awesome, thanks heaps, Jasmin. Alrighty, let us jump in. So, one of the earliest things that I noticed when I was watching it through with some of the credits coming up, it was produced by Spielberg, George Lucas as well.
Yep.
Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall. So, big names all around. I hadn't realized that, but none of them the director. The director's actually Don Bluth, who had done American Tail and Anastasia.
Yep, and A Secret of Nim as well before this one. Then he went on to do All Dogs Go to Heaven, which I like, and Titan AE.
Okay, yeah, because I saw it was quite a long list. I haven't seen the ones you've just said. The only two that I had seen were American Tail and Anastasia, but they were, again, favourites of mine. So
recommend All Dogs Go to Heaven. It's pretty good.
Okay, sad?
Yes. Yes.
You would assume so with a title like that.
But yeah, like Bluth sort of comes from like a pretty big sort of animating background before he started off, working with Spielberg. Like he'd done some work for a lot of work.
Spielberg.
Good callback. Had done a lot of work for Disney. Had done animating work on Robin Hood, Winnie the Pooh, and The Rescuers, Pete's Dragon, Fox and the Hounds.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So, like, clearly has got like a fair pedigree sort of in the animation game. But yeah, so this one was produced by Amblin Entertainment. They worked a lot with, he worked a lot with Spielberg, did American Tail with him, but then they sort of had a bit of a falling out and some creative differences. So, yeah, Bluth did not do like a lot of the American Tail sequels and these sort of things.
Right.
But he definitely did this one. They
As
worked
in
together.
Fightful Goes West.
That one. Yeah.
Oh,
He also, Don Bluth, I worked out while I was doing my research, he did work on a really fun PS2 platformer
Oh, yeah?
called iNinja. One of my favourite games as a younger lad, and worked out that he did a lot of the work on there, did a lot of the cutscenes and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, speaking of cuts and stuff for this film, they cut a lot of it. Look, this is a pretty lean,
1 hour and 9
1
minutes.
hour and 9 minutes. There was about 15 minutes or 20 minutes that got cut.
Look, I really enjoyed revisiting this, but not more than I enjoyed doing a 1 hour and 9 minute film for the week. That was really good. We've had a pretty full-on last couple of pods with videos and long run times. We're getting up to 2 hours. So to be able to watch a film that only went just over an hour, woo, that was sweet.
That's pretty good. It does leave some continuity errors into things, but basically, yeah, like Spielberg and Lucas thought it was too scary for kids. So
There you go. It's still pretty scary. Like, for kids, it's got some pretty full-on stuff, and they establish the world very quickly, but they also establish the dangers of the world really quickly, whether it's the other dinosaurs, the predators, or just the way that the world is at the moment. So yeah, like, obviously we're in a transitional period. That's part of the reason why the dinosaurs are traveling, for their own safety. And we see some of those very real dangers throughout the film.
absolutely, the environment is out to get them as much as the as who's inhabiting that environment. But
And
yeah.
speaking of who's inhabiting that environment, we meet Littlefoot and his mother, Bigfoot.
And then the grandparents, bigger feet.
Bigfoot, Littlefoot, cardboard box.
That's what they say. I will say as well, James Horner's score in the opening. Whoa, cooking. We've spoken highly about James Horner in recent podcasts. Did the work for Pagemaster as well. It's got that similar kind of feel to it.
And that similar kind of runtime.
Woo! Two of our favourites for 2024. Spot the similarities, guys.
Oh dear. But I really like the narration to kind of set the world up. You were saying you were watching this late last night, and I was like, it's pretty kind of peaceful and meditative.
Too peaceful.
Like, if you were trying to stay awake during it, that would have been pretty tricky.
Sun's getting real low here, guys. Pat Hingle does the narration, who plays Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, in the Burton Schumacher Batman films, which I find hilarious.
Paid out on him when we were doing Batman with Wits, didn't we?
Probably.
We were saying, what a waste of a character. He's such a nothing role in that film.
It is a little bit, but he makes up for it with this narration.
Oh my goodness. Narration that could put you to sleep. What a
Jim
glowing review.
Jim Gordon, who can put you to sleep too. Shout out to Pat Hingle.
The other thing that they establish in this world is everything has its own name. Like, instead of a leaf, it's a tree star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T-Rex, it's a sharp tooth.
Sharptooth. Yeah, they've all got their names. So, Littlefoot and his mum, they're brontosauruses, but they're known as long necks.
The old long necks.
Old long necks. They're real derogatory terms, aren't they?
Yeah, or a little bit.
But no characters are more derogatory than the Triceratops.
The Sarahs.
Yeah, and we meet Sarah the Sarah.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me your name?
Nice.
Good little Eskimo Joe reference there. Some really random references today.
Yeah, they really are.
Jim Carrey to Eskimo Joe.
That's it. That's it.
That's what happens
the
on the
full
period.
spectrum. The Triceratops, or the three horns, there's some racism coming from Sarah's dad, and she has very much been passed on
that rhetoric.
Yeah, well, secondhand racism. It comes through the family.
Yeah, and this is the adults. The dinos don't play basically with other species. Like
three horns never play with long necks.
Right. Yuck! Exactly. That's what Sarah says. Yuck!
Yuckers, she says. But this is almost like something that all the adults agree on.
Yeah, they sort of like the
Littlefoot's mother is like, we're too different.
It's always been that way.
Well, why?
Yes, good on you, Littlefoot. You're so progressive.
Question the status quo.
That's it.
We love that. But yeah, they're sort of on a bit of a quest, trying to reach the Great Valley.
They are.
which is, there's more food, there's more water there, the herds are emerging there essentially, and that, we work out that's the mission.
Less earthquakes or earth shakes, do they call them?
I think earth shakes.
They sound like a delicious milkshake, an earth shake.
A good earth shake. That's my favourite type of...
Actually, it sounds like it's got spinach and stuff in it.
Or it's got just soil.
Gross.
Just a nice soil.
Yuckers.
Soil
In the famous words of Sarah, the Triceratops, yuckers.
Well, they get separated, but then they end up sort of playing again together with the
frog,
the
Hopper.
hoppers. Yeah.
The Hopper.
Can't call them frogs.
Nah. Everything's got to have its own name. So they're chasing the Hopper, and then all of a sudden, chase it right into a T-Rex. Sharp tooth. This happens a few times throughout this film. You get some real Lion King vibes.
Yes.
When they're getting chased through the thistles, the thorns.
Well, they get sort of stuck and everything, and then the whole chase scene does look pretty cool. Again, like we spoke about,
Ooh, yeah.
The fact that Littlefoot changes colour consistently throughout the film.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
To reflect his mood. He's like a mood ring.
He's a mood ring. Long neck mood ring. That's what they call him.
That's what they call him.
What they call him.
But you see this a lot, and we talked about this in the Page Master as well, when they're on the ocean, Ahab goes crazy. The sky turns red. There's a similar sort of thing with the T-Rex chasing him, the background goes all red, the T-Rex's eyes,
T-Rex looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
One of the best sharp teeth we've seen on screen.
Yeah, and it's also quite harrowing, when they're trying to run away. The part in particular where the T-Rex is kind of falling down the side of the cliff, and they're falling too, and he's snapping at them.
Yeah, it's not going to fall back into his grasp and maybe his jaws. But thankfully, Littlefoot's mum comes to the rescue.
Mama
Bigfoot, slightly bigger foot. They battle a little bit. The T-Rex, the sharp tooth and the long neck. I love the smoke and fire sort of coming out of the cracks. It looks really, really cool.
It does.
And Mum saves them. Then the earth shake starts splitting the land and the dinosaurs. Sarah gets separated from her family, Littlefoot too, but he finds his mum, but it's not looking good.
No, it is not looking good. So he's lost his grandparents, but he's lost his mum, and that's a lot sadder because she's just not on the other side of the land.
She's dead.
She dead.
She's mortally wounded by the big sharp tooth. It's pretty sad to see when she dies, and sort of tells him to go find the Great Valley, and said I'll always be with you and stuff. I was like, damn.
Again,
very right in the fields.
Very Lion King too, with him kind of pleading against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean if I can't see you? I can always see you.
Man, it's such a staple of kids' films for parents to be just knocked off.
Yeah, it's just got to prepare for that emotional trauma.
Yeah.
If you go see an animated movie.
Well, no, I guess it's about teaching kids all about loss and stuff like that.
But your parents don't stick around? I don't know. Is that what they're telling
no,
them?
I don't think that's what it's...
Is that what they're telling them? Jeez, that's brutal.
So yeah, she tells him he's going to find his own way to the Great Valley, but he's not super proactive about that at first because he's a little bit depressed. He meets old
Ruda.
Old Ruda.
Oh, that's what I've got. Meets old Ruda.
Old Ruda. And what kind of dino is old Ruda?
I've got no idea.
It's got to be a stego, right? Got the spikes down the back, doesn't he?
Maybe.
Maybe
I think
not.
He's got a different sort of head shape,
Possibly,
a bit more rounded.
Yeah. He might be a flat head. Another one that Sarah.
The Rudosaurus.
The Rudosaurus. Pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And he says it's nobody's fault. He doesn't even know the situation.
Well, he kind of ascertains sort of what happens when he's talking about.
He just blames his mum for not being there.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, she did.
She did.
That's the quote. But
he says it's no one's fault, and I think it is someone's fault.
Don Bluth.
Don Bluth for writing it.
Wasn't even in the script. He's like, nah, she got to die. There can only be one foot in this movie.
As if it wasn't Lion King enough, the advice that Ruda says, it's all part of the circle of life. Subtle. It's subtle.
Copyright infringement. Well, this comes out before the Lion King, so
I know.
That's where they got the idea from.
Yeah.
Bastards. But yeah, sort of you start hearing kind of slightly bigger Foot's voice through the, what do they call the leaves? It's the tree
stars.
Tree stars, thank you. I think in the video games you had to collect the tree stars. That was the thing in the PS1 games.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
They had 14 spin-off video games.
That's too many.
And most of them were education games.
Of course they were. Did you notice, like, and this is probably part of the stuff that they cut out of the runtime,
Yes.
a lot of this does just feel like little segments that are all stitched together.
Kind of.
Like, we've had...
Let's meet the gang.
This is like our fifth old wise person that said a lesson to Littlefoot.
They're hitting you over the head a bit with it because he's a bit silly.
Yeah. And then we do get that little comedic scene with the pterodactyls, the teeny tiny pterodactyls eating the cherry.
Yes.
It reminded me a little bit of when you watch Ice Age, and is it like Scat? Is that his name? The one who always wants the acorn, but he's not part of like the main cast. It just cuts to him, and we watch a little physical comedy scene.
Is it Scratch?
Maybe Scrat.
Just scat. He's just scat. He's scatting everywhere.
He says skibbity.
He's just going and he's just clicking his fingers. Gotta get an acorn for my yeah, that's
Yep, that's him. Scat.
And you'll see him in the new Ice Age film that's being they got announced the other day because I needed another Ice Age film.
Oh God, I'd need a few less in my life.
I've only seen the first one. So.
Good call. Good call. But they're very similar to this.
Yes,
very similar to this.
Because we get this motley crew of creatures.
That's it.
We meet the young big mouth named Ducky.
Oh, I love Ducky.
Yup.
I love Ducky.
And then we meet the young flyer called Petrie.
Yes, like a petri dish.
Yes, or like Drew Petrie. He used to play for the Kangaroos.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
Of course.
Big Drew, as you call him.
So, starting to meet these characters is good because it brings a bit more levity back to the situation. We've had some really dark moments where he sees his own shadow and thinks it's his mum and chases it.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, my heart.
Right in the feels.
My heart.
It's you!
He does meet up with Sarah, but she's still being as racist as ever, and doesn't want to go with him to the Great Valley. So
Yeah, she sucks.
She does suck. She really does.
And she doesn't get much better through the film, if I'm going to be perfectly honest.
You are absolutely right. She never really learns much of a lesson.
No.
That's why it's so good when we meet Ducky, because Ducky is super cute and instantly
Very
wants to be
enthusiastic.
friends.
Yeah.
Yep, that is what it is. Yep.
It's like, yeah, let's go to the Great Valley. Come on, let's go.
Originally, I was a little disappointed in Littlefoot because caught a little bit of that secondhand racism and was like, nah, we don't talk to other species of dinosaurs.
But he quickly sort of...
He's like, nah, back to his roots. Back to his roots.
Come on, guys. I'm inclusive.
So, yeah, they decide to go to the Great Valley together because they've both lost their families and they just assume that's where they're going to be. And, yeah, their stomachs start talking. And it really brought me back to us recording the pod last week. My stomach was going nuts.
Wouldn't shut up.
It wouldn't shut up. But fortunately, it didn't get captured on any of the recordings.
Oh, yeah, nice one. Good
stuff.
You can't
stuff.
see it, but I'm doing double thumbs like expositional Marty.
Like the narrator in this film.
Yeah.
Our very own expositional Marty. So they start eating from a tree, and that's when Petrie falls out.
Yes.
I was trying to think of a joke there about it's a dish for them and a Petri dish.
Dish best served cold.
Petrie.
Petrie.
And he goes, I flied? No, you falled. The dialogue between Petrie and Ducky is amazing. I love it.
A lot of yups and nups.
Yes. So, yeah, he's a pterodactyl, aka a flyer.
He's a flyer.
But he can't fly. He's a flyer that can't fly.
But I feel like we might get there. He might
Maybe.
fly.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe. We cut to then, like, Sarah's underground with, like, the fallen sharp tooth, basically. Who was like, oh, you're dead.
Yeah, and then starts mocking it.
Yeah, and keeps, like, charging at it and, like, mucking around. And then eventually is like, no, I'm awake and you dead.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this. I was like, this isn't smart, like, just in case it is alive. But also, it's much worse if it is dead and you're just headbutting a corpse.
Bit weird, Sarah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we just get more evidence that Sarah sucks.
Sarah does suck. It's so true. But that shot where she's running towards it and its eye opens and you just see her reflection trying to stop.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yup.
You're just going to keep saying it? I like it. I like it a lot. Petrie is starting to make base camp on Littlefoot's head. And I really like this because Littlefoot is so fed up.
He's over it.
He's so over it. And he's a little bit annoyed. He's Littlefoot annoyed that he's ripping up the old Tree Star, mother's present, very important. I keep safe. And he just starts marching back and forth.
And he rolls it up as well, and he like tucks it under his arm.
So
It's
good.
just
Don't let nobody's touch.
Thanks, Petrie.
Yeah, and then Ducky supports it too. Like, yep, Petrie, you keep it safe. Yep. And that's when Littlefoot's like, nope.
Go away.
Go away, I hate you. So they run into Sarah, who can't admit that she's frightened because she's a stubborn three-horn.
Yes, it is, and they've got a new dinosaur who I honestly forgot about. I can't remember there being like a little bit of a gang, but
Or Spike.
yeah, I forgot about Spike.
I forgot about Spike too. It was a bigger group than I remembered. You can understand why you'd forget about Spike. He doesn't talk, and
He's there.
he just eats some leaves, and he's pretty chunky considering he came out of an egg. But I like that when he is hatching, Ducky's like, you should come out. Yes, you should. You are late. It's like, what? Why is it late?
Because Ducky's an expert on birthing dinosaurs. I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Ducky can do no wrong. Anything Ducky says is adorable. Oh, no, he's a stego. He's a stego.
Because he's spiky like a stegosaurus.
Yeah. It just reminds me of... You've listened to the Caravan of Garbage for the Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
And they talk about how much people hated the fact that there were no Stegosauruses in Jurassic Park. And they're like, oi, Spielberg, where's the stego, you prick?
That was you for the first part of this film.
Where's the stego, I
Oi,
said?
Donny Bluth, where's the stegos? Where's the spikes? I want more spikes in my dinosaur film, mate.
That's what I said.
Hey, Spielberg.
Oh, dear. So anyway, they're all traveling together now. They're such a diverse group. How far they've come.
From the start of the movie.
Yeah.
From
Merely 10 minutes ago when the movie started.
10 minutes till the movie finishes.
Finishes, exactly right. So they find some trees and they're like, woo, food. But then a big old stampede of dinos comes in and steals it away from them. But they manage to do some stacks on and get some of the dregs that's left.
I like this. This is good.
The teamwork?
Yes.
Yeah,
Teamwork making that dream work.
But I'll tell you what I didn't like, when Sarah refused to help and then was like,
Classic.
I can do it all on my own.
And then she doesn't.
She can't, but even worse than that, if she couldn't, I wanted Littlefoot to just let her sit in it, but Littlefoot's too good for that. He throws some leaves down and even makes her believe that she's been able to attain them herself.
He's just the best Littlefoot.
He is just the best Littlefoot. They do a really kind of weird thing at this point where everyone goes to sleep together except Littlefoot. Up until this point, Littlefoot's been doing all the right things and Sarah's been doing all the wrong things, and then you're kind of like, oh, now we're seeing Littlefoot be a little bit stubborn here too. It's like, he doesn't believe that
Not entirely.
the sharp tooth is still around, so he's like, well, you guys all sleep together. And he's like,
You protect yourself. I'll be fine by myself.
yeah,
I'm a Littlefoot, but I got a long neck. That's fine.
I'm
I'll
a
be
Littlefoot
fine.
and I'm gonna sleep in this Bigfoot.
I'm going to sleep in the Bigfoot. I do like the fact that, like when Sarah sort of initially is like, okay, now we'll sort of snuggle up with the rest of the dinos.
How good is it as they go like one by one to Littlefoot? And I must say, there was a little bit of satisfaction in that moment before Sarah decided to snuggle up with everyone else, where she looked a bit sad.
Yeah, I was
I was
like,
like,
good,
cop
good.
that.
You suck, Sarah. Look sad. Be sad as well. That's my favourite type of Triceratops. Triceratops.
Nice.
That's
nice.
really floats quite well. Also wanting to join in on the stacks on is old Sharptooth, because he's tracked them down.
He just wanted to snuggle.
He's like, hi guys, but because they can't speak Sharptooth, it sounds like.
It does sound like that. And I like that he steps in his own footprint. That's a pretty cool shot.
Just to let you know whose footprint it was, in case you weren't sure.
Well, we knew, but those idiots, they couldn't piece it together.
The children, the people watching the movie.
No, the dinos.
Wrong idiots, I apologize.
You horrible man. So they managed to get away, and they realise that they are on the right path when they find the rock that looks like a long neck.
Yes, they've evaded Big Rexy. They found the long neck rock, and
But it's a harrowing journey.
yeah, well, because they can't decide which way to go, basically.
Yeah, well, because Littlefoot's been taking them like up these big mountains and through the wind. I wasn't so crash hot about the way they animated wind. It just looks like someone had scribbled across the screen.
It's the best kind of wind. Scribble.
Scribble wind.
Scribble wind.
So Sarah gets a bit fed up, and her and Littlefoot get in a fight again.
Classic Sarah and Littlefoot. Will they, won't they?
They won't.
They definitely...
They definitely won't.
I'm talking about getting along.
Oh, okay. They
Jeez.
won't.
They don't get along.
No. So she storms off, and this part made me so mad. The others all storm off with her.
It's like,
Well, not
why have-
storm off, but they're like, that looks easier. We're going to do that.
It's like she sucked.
Littlefoot assembled this crew.
And you've left your captain.
Yeah, real bad.
He should have let him die.
Well, yeah. They get some comeuppance in a second.
I do.
They end up in volcano country. And it all goes bad
Volcano
real quickly.
Yep. They get sort of like they're out sort of in the middle of the lava, and then
Yeah, Ducky and Spike get stranded in the lava. Petrie falls in tar, and Sarah gets chased down by some vicious looking dinos.
Yeah, they were. I think those dinosaurs were in Lost World. They're the dinosaurs that have like the really tough skull, and they're like they're the one that like almost smashes into the
Yeah,
jeep.
they're Pachycephalosaurus.
Nice. Thankfully, yeah, the evil dinosaurs are basically the evil dinosaurs. They're scared away from Sarah because you've still got Petrie, Spike, and Ducky, like Littlefoot, who are like this big goopy mess.
Yeah. So I really like this because Littlefoot has never shown this kind of go-go attitude. But he's just like, quick, push the rock over, jump on me. Now we're going to go in the tar pit and we're going to get him and everyone's going to be fine. And yeah, they're pretty cool as the big goopy monster.
It looks like a scarecrow almost.
Yeah,
of sorts.
I like it. And they like it. Boy, do they like it. They're laughing their heads
I
off.
stay in there.
Sarah, you idiot. It's us.
It's us. I'm Littlefoot. That's Petrie. That's Ducky. And the one that doesn't talk, that's Spike.
So, Sarah, still having not...
Cheesed off.
Yeah, she's... Oh, man, is she cheesed off. So she storms off as well.
She goes the wrong way.
She does.
It would just take way too much for her to admit that she's done the wrong thing.
Yeah, well, I don't think she ever does in this.
No.
And at the end, they make out like they're all good friends, but
I'm like,
nah.
nah, she still sucks.
What are they going to decide to do next in this children's movie? Plot to kill the T-Rex.
Love it.
Dark.
Yeah, I know.
They're all
What are we
just-
going to do? We're going to drown him.
Yeah, it's real weird. They use Ducky as bait. They lead it to water. They can't just leave well enough alone. They lead it to water, and then they drop a rock on its head.
Yep. It's a bit touch and go. Sarah comes back to save them, but yeah, that's like the whole plan. But yeah, they're just going to push a boulder on the Rex and fall into the water.
Yeah, well, Petrie flies, so that's good. And we do think he's dead for a hot second.
Yeah, they think that he's sort of collapsed in there and is like, oh, Petrie's dead. But it's
Kind
a
of
bit
serves him right, though. That'll teach him to commit premeditated murder.
Well, yeah, it looks like Petrie's dead, but it's a bit of a fake out.
It is a bit of a fake out.
He's
Petrie
survived.
is in fact alive, but the T-Rex is still dead. They're natural born killers.
Natural Born Killers. That's what the movie's... Natural Born Killers is inspired by The Land Before Time.
That's what I always heard.
That's Woody Harrelson's really channeling his inner Littlefoot.
That's it.
But yeah, they find the Great Valley.
Yeah, well, because what happens? Old Littlefoot's mum appears in the clouds. Another Lion King moment.
Or a classic Kung Pao Into the Fist moment,
Wow, yes.
obviously.
Both films of equal caliber.
Well, in my eyes, they are. Because of how much I love The Lion King.
I know, mate, but your eyes are shit. That's why you need glasses.
Hey, I watch all my movies with glasses on. There was only that one time when I went to see Moneyball and I forgot.
You were like, why did they never have the camera in focus?
Yeah, it's like, where's the money? Where's the ball?
And yeah, you're right. They find the Great Valley.
The herds are reunited.
They are. And it feels so good.
Even bigger feet are here.
They are. The
the
biggest
biggest
defeat. And I like that they all reunite with their families, except Spike. Because when you think about it,
They're all dead.
Ducky's just kidnapped Spike from his family. This is our new brother, Spike.
If Spike could talk, he would say, "Help me."
Help me, yeah. You sure would.
Ducky is terrifying. Nup, nup, nup. You're with us now.
Shut your mouth.
That's the second Land Before Time film. Spike's escape.
Yeah, you can just hear Stuck in the Middle with You, and Ducky's just coming towards Spike with the switchblade,
She's got a single tear rolling down Spike's
cutting
cheek.
off spikes one at a time. Oh man,
You're not Spike anymore. Yup, yup, yup.
so creepy. Yup, yup, yup can be really creepy when you put it in that context. Eh?
Someone needs to recut the Land Before Time trailer.
Oh.
That'd be that's what we should do for recut trailers for our Year 9s.
The Spike cut. It works on so many levels.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight.
Littlefoot's with his grandparents, and that's the end of the movie.
Well, not before they give a montage of everything we've just seen. What do we need that for?
Just in case you missed it.
It all happened less than an hour ago.
And then you get a Diana Ross song.
Yeah. Again, that reminded me of the Page Master
It did,
when they
yeah.
go into the fairyland. Love it, love it. It is a quick film. It's a quick film, and I didn't necessarily have all that much to say about it. I actually really enjoyed watching it, but it's such a simple narrative.
It works.
Oh, it absolutely works. It's actually showing some pretty key ideas to kids. Like, we talked about the idea of loss, but we're also talking about the idea of acceptance and...
Racism.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just because someone's different doesn't mean you can't welcome them with open arms. Oh, dinosaurs. Open legs.
Open dinosaur arms. Little T-Rex ones.
I
Open
swear
feet.
I didn't know.
Open
I
feet.
didn't know that I was suggesting open legs. Pretty funny. Pretty funny. Will they, won't they? I'm probably gonna have to cut that out, but that's a good gag. That's a good gag.
They won't.
Oh, maybe I can keep it in.
Well, they won't. They cut this out of the podcast.
I won't. Oh, funny.
Good
Funny.
stuff. So yeah, so that's The Land Before Time, the first of how many sequels? 14 movies.
That's too many movies.
This is the only one that got released theatrically.
If you put all the movies together, it goes for the regular runtime of a movie.
Some of them are a bit longer than this. Not much longer, but some.
Yeah, okay.
But this is the only one that Lucas Spielberg and Donnie Bluth are involved in. They're basically like, see ya.
See ya. I'm out, skis.
I was looking at like the voice cast across all of the different films. So I don't really recognize anyone in the voice cast of this movie.
Yeah? Do you
Did
know
you?
who was the Sharptooth? Frank Welker.
Oh, Frankie
Old
Wells.
Auntie.
Old Frankie
Auntie
Wells.
from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Of course he was. The one that did pop up, which was interesting, I think he's in number 11.
Oh, jeez.
Kiefer Sutherland voices one of the dinosaurs.
There you go.
So,
And he's got 24 hours before he becomes extinct.
all of the good references that come with discussing a good film like this. So big thanks to Jasmin again for suggesting.
Absolutely. We
Land
had
Before
a lot
Time.
of fun with it. I really enjoyed revisiting this, and I also really enjoyed doing something that was a little lighter.
Yes, this is definitely the first time I've watched this movie since I watched it as a kid. So it's not one of those kids' movies that's I'm like, oh, I might chuck that back on. It just hasn't been in the mind, really. But it was nice to touch base again with this film.
Awesome. Shall we move on to weekly watches?
Let's watch them.
Well, I'm not going to watch him.
Oh, we'll talk about it now.
Okay, beautiful.
Weekly watches. Weekly watches. I love you.
Right, I'm going to kick things off with Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
I was looking forward to this, but then I also read your letterbox review.
So, in the famous words of Sarah the Triceratops, yuckers. It was not an enjoyable experience for me. So much so that I had to do it in 2 sittings.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. I can understand how, for a much younger audience, this one would still have some appeal. But, you know, when we talk about movies like Toy Story, where it's like there's clearly a lot of appeal for the parents that are watching it with the kids.
Not much of that here.
None.
If you compare to the first one.
I couldn't tell what any of the jokes were supposed to be in terms of like witty dialogue. The only thing that I could see was appealing for kids. It's like there's a lot of like moving colors and pictures and some like silly physical comedy stuff. But the actual lines didn't seem like they were as well crafted as the first film. It baffles me that James Gunn thinks this is the better of the 2 films.
Does he?
He definitely does. Yeah.
Really?
The other thing that was just super distracting about it, the wigs. I was watching it and I was literally asking all the characters, do you wear wigs? Yeah, didn't enjoy it. Did not enjoy it.
Fair enough.
Little to no redeeming qualities.
Woohoo.
Sorry, mate.
That's okay.
You do need to rewatch it soon, though.
I will. I still like the first one the most. There's parts of the second one I like narratively that I enjoy. But I sympathise and understand how is a drop in sort of it's not highbrow humour, it's a bit more lowbrow.
I would consider it
no
no-brow humour.
No brow.
No brows. They've been singed off.
Terrifying. Speaking of singed off, that's a really good segue into the film I want to talk about, which is Azrael, the new horror film that was on Shudder, that I watched sort of at the back end of Spooker season. E.L. Katz directed this one, but why I was most interested about it was because Samara Weaving is the main character, and Samara Weaving is definitely turned into one of the more modern scream queens when it comes to horror movies. I think that she's awesome. But why I was also intrigued to watch this is because, well, she can't scream. Because the characters don't really talk in this movie at all.
Oh, but she's so good with her witty, sharp dialogue.
Not this time. It's also got Nathan Stewart Jarrett, who plays Curtis in Misfits. It's like a post-apocalyptic horror movie where they've got this community where they've like surgically removed people's vocal cords, and so they can't talk. But Samara Weaving and I'm going to call him Curtis from Misfits escape from basically this community, but they get sort of captured and taken back to the sort of monsters roaming this post-apocalyptic world, who are called the Burned Ones, and they're kind of these zombies that have a very like singed and burnt look to them. They look fantastic. I had a good time with it. It was fun. Practical effects look really cool. I really love the burnt look of the zombies. I think it's a bit different. Like one point, rip a character's head off, and then the zombies are like under the head, like drinking the blood and stuff. And I was like, whoa! And I was like, Yep, that's what Ducky says. Ducky's in the background being approving of the amount of chaos. It's like, I'm going to do that to Spike later. So I thought it was interesting to watch. They don't have the power to use dialogue, so they need to communicate things with facial expression and body language and everything. I think Samara Weaving particularly does a tremendous job
She
doing
got
this.
them expressive eyes.
She really does. But I had a good time watching it.
Nice. Next up for me, and this is one that you can join in on the convo about, Woman of the Hour.
Nice.
I loved it.
Good.
I really loved it. So it is the real life story about Rodney Alcala, real serial killer who operated for years and years without people knowing, and there were sort of reports about him, but he always managed to kind of get away with it, or they couldn't find any solid evidence on it. And throughout his reign, he also appeared on a dating show in the 70s. So this is really, really good film in terms of the way that it melds a little bit of creative license with the actual events. I don't necessarily like it all that much when biographical films do that, but I think having listened to a lot of the interviews with Anna Kendrick and looking up some of the details that were modified slightly, I think it was all done really well in order to accurately convey some of the key themes and ideas behind the narrative. So for the most part, it is the actual story, but there are certain sequences and certain characters. Nicolette Robinson's character, the one that's in the audience watching the dating show, she's entirely fictional, but I think the inclusion of her character is a really good way to represent the frustration of the people that did have police reports against him and nothing was ever followed up.
Yeah, with how the security guard basically is like, oh yeah, I'll help you out. And
exactly right. So she's incredible in it. Anna Kendrick is incredible in it. Daniel Zavato is incredible in it. But my favorite, Autumn Best. Autumn Best was the best.
Which one's Autumn Best?
The one that he takes up into the mountains.
Yeah.
I thought she was really, really incredible. It's a tough watch. It is obviously a tough watch. Anytime that a film is about a serial killer and you know that the events are based on real events, it's going to be a tricky watch. But I think it was beautifully done. Anna Kendrick was the director in addition to being the star of the film.
Debut behind the camera. It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
There's this interesting story about the director that was originally lined up dropping out and her casually saying I guess I could do it, and the production company being like, look, take the day, come back and pitch this properly, and then maybe we'll let you do it. And she did, and yeah, did an incredible job. Like, the cinematography in it is incredible.
A couple of really, really good, like the car park shots with like the wides there. Oh, love that sort of stuff.
And also the way that the story is told over different points in his life too.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little surprised by the way in which Anna Kendrick's story kind of fits into the piece. I thought certain things were going to happen with her character that ended up happening with other characters, and it really was more of an ensemble film as well.
Yeah, like from the initial trailers and stuff, it is more like Anna Kendrick's like the final girl almost to this film.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that. It's more about women in general in this film.
Yes.
And the themes that are involved with that. Which I find interesting. And I also like the fact that it's really clear from the start of the film, because they start with one of the murders, that you know exactly who the killer is.
Yes.
Daniel Salvato, who plays the killer, is terrifying.
He really is. And I was like, he's so familiar. What have I seen him in? He's in It Follows.
Oh, yes, of course.
But yeah, much kudos to Anna Kendrick for her debut.
Yeah, keen to see more what she's doing. Awesome job. I'm going to talk about a TV series that I smashed out.
Mr. Boylan, I'm watching TV.
Incredible scenes. A show called Vice Principals.
I haven't even heard of it.
So it's another Danny McBride and Jodie Hill project. So they had done Eastbound and Down prior to doing Vice Principals. Mm-hmm. They've since done The Righteous Gemstones. I still haven't watched The Righteous Gemstones because I wanted to watch this. I'd watched a couple of episodes, I think, when this show came out or around when it came out, on a plane trip overseas somewhere, and then just never got back to it because it was a HBO show, and we haven't had the greatest access of HBO stuff for a while. But now I'm a binge subscriber. There's all the HBO shows to watch.
That's true.
So it's a really fun comedy where Danny McBride and Walton Goggins play two vice principals. Bill Murray plays the principal who's on the way out.
How have I not heard of this?
Bill Murray's in it for about 5 minutes, so it's more of a cameo. But basically, the two vice principals think that, well, one of them is going to get the job. They both don't really like each other that much. They're two very different teachers. Walton Goggins' character is very much involved with the staff team and is friends with all the teachers. Mm-hmm. And Danny McBride's character is like the head of discipline and is the firm hand of the law, basically, at the school. Neither of the two vice principals get the job, and they bring in someone externally.
Right.
So they're like, well, we're not standing for this. We're going to team up and get rid of her.
Okay, cool.
So that's basically the premise for the show. As a school teacher, it's fun watching sort of like comedies based in schools sometimes.
Oh, always. That's why I love Cooties so much. It's such a good film.
Yeah, still got to watch that. But yeah, so Vice Principals, worth a watch.
Nice. My third and final weekly watch is also a television series. I'm going to talk The Lincoln Lawyer. So season 3 just released. Have you seen the movie or the TV series? No, that's what I was about to
say. I knew it was a movie. I didn't know it was a TV show.
So the movie has Matthew McConaughey, but I think the TV series is better. I really like the movie, and I always wanted them to make sequel films. Now that they've made the TV series, it's kind of like they can do a season on each thing. My dad has read a lot of the books, so he, I think, said that sometimes they kind of fuse some ideas from different books together as well. And it's just really good. You know how much I love my courtroom dramas. There tends to be like a big case per season. Okay. But he also, because he's a defense lawyer, he goes in and does like small cases in certain episodes as well. And there's lots of like mini subplots. I went to write down all of the cast in it that I liked and realized I was writing about 15 names down. Like they are all really good. It is a true ensemble cast. All the people that work for him. He works with his ex-wife and has a daughter with an ex-wife, and they all get along really well. Like the dynamics between the characters is so good. One that I will mention, it's got Angus Sampson in it. Australia's own.
Love Angus Sampson.
He's very good in it as well.
Angus Sampson.
And I was obviously drawn into it because Neve Campbell plays one of the ex-wives as well. But everyone in it is incredible. The main guy, whose name escapes me, one of the things that I like about the TV series that I think they do better than the film, he has this really good sense of confidence in what he does, but he never feels like too much of a jerk. Whereas sometimes McConaughey feels a little too arrogant. He's a bit stuck up. Whereas in this series, I think they get that balance right of, yes, he does know exactly what he's doing, and he does sometimes put people in his place, but you always are on his side.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I heard good things about the movie, but yeah, I didn't even know it was a TV show.
Both are on Netflix, so you got 3 seasons to catch up on, but they're about a 8 to 10 episode run.
Oh, I like an 8 to 10.
Oh, I know you do. Oh, I know you do.
I've got 2 more. It's what's inside, which is kind of one of the, like, sometimes I get sucked into the different things on the carousel on Netflix about what's popular and what's new. Sometimes I don't, but this was a time I did. And
This does sound familiar. I may have seen the trailer for it.
yeah, so it's only been released, I think, in the last month or so. Very similar vibes to Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Snappy kind of modern dialogue, like particularly young dialogue. Yeah, it's a pre-wedding party sort of reunion for this sort of group of people who used to go to school together. One guy they haven't seen since college is sort of hints at the fact that things didn't end well sort of with this friend, but he comes anyway, and he kind of brings this machine that allows them to do something. I'm not going to talk about it because it's a bit of fun. It's a good bit of fun.
Did you like it more than Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
No, I liked Bodies more.
I felt like I was underwhelmed by Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Everyone was telling me how much it would be up my alley, and I just think maybe it missed the mark for me a little.
I like Bodies more because it's a bit more of a horror film. This is a bit more of almost like a comedy thriller. Like, it definitely has elements of like horror in there, but it's more plays on the comedy side than I think Bodies does, which I'm like, it's good. I do recommend watching it. It's a good light watch with a fun concept.
Cool.
Then last one, I watched Candyman from 1992 because unfortunately Tony Todd passed away a couple of days ago. And
I didn't even know that. That is sad.
yeah, it's a celebrity death. It really knocked me around actually on the weekend because I didn't know he'd been sick or anything like that. He's only 69 years old. And yeah, he's like one of my favorite actors of all time. I think like he's someone who brings gravitas, whether he's in the lead role or in a movie for 5 minutes. He's a terrific character actor, and particularly like a really big pillar in the horror community. Loves Candyman still, is always a person who goes to like conventions and
Final
interacts with
Destination.
people. Obviously, yeah, as William Bloodsworth as in the Final Destination films, is kind of like the Grim Reaper character. He's doing one more of those that thankfully he's filmed, so we will get one more Tony Todd in Final Destination that will come out next year, that'll be a must watch for me. I mean, they always are, but particularly with him being the last one. For some of our younger listeners, he did a really good job voicing Venom in the last Spider-Man game that came out last year, which was really good. He's been in The Rock. He's in an episode of Smallville early on.
He is.
The Night of the Living Dead 90s remake, The Crow. An actor who always commands presence on the screen. He's got such a good voice all the time, just like, and Candyman like does that so well. When I heard the news, I think I was pretty gutted to hear that, so I wanted to watch his best work on screen, and it still very much holds up. He's delivers a really terrific performance as Candyman, or Daniel Robitaille. Yeah, it's just really good, like thematically what it deals with. Some people probably prefer this to the newer one that came out with Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Oh, the first one's way better, yeah.
Thematically, what this film does, I think, is really, really interesting. I like how it uses Chicago as a character, particularly when I went to Chicago last year. I was wasn't game enough to go to Cabrini Green because I don't think it's the most salubrious of places to go visit, particularly as a solo traveller. If you haven't seen Candyman, do so. It's a really good film, but yeah, for Tony Todd as well. Rest in power. He's one of the best.
Nice. Shall we move on to movie mashups?
Let's mash it.
They did the mash. They did the movie mash. The movie mash. It's like a plot theme smash. They did the mash. It might turn out trash. They did the mash. They did the movie mash.
As promised, this week we've got Won't Get Fooled Again ready to go.
I won't get fooled again by not playing Won't Get Fooled Again.
Well, I hope that by doing something like this, it's like we're going to get them all right, because we're not going to get fooled again. Fingers
Hopefully.
crossed. Wishful thinking.
No fooling.
We will take it in turns to read out pitches for existing movies with a slight twist based on the theme of the week. The goal is to guess the new mashup title, which should be a play on words. Because we did The Land Before Time this week, our theme for today is types of dinosaurs. For example, if I was describing the coming-of-age film about a socially awkward teenage boy who decides to help his new friend become class president and always slumps over, giving himself a ridged back, you might say the film was called Napoleon Spinomite.
Oh, good riff on that one. Thank you. Thank you. That's good.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. In this animated film that tears apart video game tropes, a character who has been an arcade game villain all their life makes a choice to roar against expectations, using their short but powerful arms to fight against the dictator of the game world and become a hero.
Is it T-Rex-It Ralph?
He's got it!
Woo!
Woo indeed.
Thank you, mate.
Very quick on the trigger there, Mr. Brown.
Ooh, I'm excited now. Alrighty. In this spin-off to a popular horror series, a man buys an antique doll for his expecting wife. When a group of devil worshippers break into their house and accidentally get blood on the doll, it becomes possessed and is turned into the ultimate predator and king of all evil.
Well, I know what the movie is. It's Annabelle.
The ultimate predator.
Like a T-Rex.
But what's the T-Rex's full name?
That's pretty good. Tyrannobellosaurus or Tyrannobell?
Just Tyrannobell is
Tyrannobell.
fine. He's done it!
Good. Off to a good start.
We are off to a good start. This bodes well.
Maybe not. Maybe not. In this malign superhero sequel, a new villain rises with sword in hand to hunt down those who represent everything he hates. Our hero has to join a pack with allies old and new to stop this villain and save all gods before our bad guy gets his claws on eternity.
Okay, so I've got the dino. So it's a superhero film where the superhero carries a sword.
No, the villain carries a sword.
The villain carries a sword.
Our hero carries a very famous weapon in this.
Okay, hang on.
Is it good?
Is it Velociraptor The Dark World?
No. Wrong sequel.
Velociraptor
Sequel.
Thor Love and Thunder.
He's got it! Velociraptor.
Velociraptor Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Woo!
That was a long one.
Oh, yeah. Christian Bale's character carries a sword.
And he's killing the gods.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you forgot about Thor Love and Thunder, that's fair
Oh,
enough.
mate, I've been trying
Sorry.
desperately.
I'll put it back in there. Go watch it.
Alrighty, here we go. An ordinary figurine who always follows the instructions is mistakenly identified as the Special, who can save his world. When his spiky back is up against the wall, he must learn the ways of the Master Builder in order to come to everyone's rescue.
Is it the Stego movie?
He's done it!
We're on fire today!
Scotty's on fire!
Quick film and quick mashups.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I
Look
love it.
at that time, Mr. Brown. Oh my
Woo!
goodness. Okay. This one's, I gotta cross over pages. Bear with me. Alright, there we go. Cool. Forming part of a double feature of movies. This film focuses on the soaring survivors of a biochemical outbreak, battling zombies and a rogue military unit. The fate of their survival rests on the heavy wings of a go-go dancer with a unique weapon at her disposal.
We've got our first double up.
Yes!
It is Planet Pterodactyl.
We've done it!
My one was, in this half of a homage to Grindhouse cinema, two doctors are inundated with patients who come flying in covered in sores. An exotic dancer with a machine gun leg and her boyfriend must lead a team of warriors to take out the mutated victims before they nest in the town.
Good.
They might not know what they're doing, but winging it seems to be working out very well for them.
Good.
Oh, good.
Good.
I love a double up. Alrighty.
Keeps going.
27 years after an evil clown took over their hometown, a group of 4 boys and 1 clever girl must reunite to once again take him on after he claws his way back. Originally struggling due to their past trauma, they managed to defeat him by hunting him in a pack and attacking him from different angles.
So I'm thinking the sequel of these films. And I've got the dinosaur. I'm just
The
trying to work out.
sequel is integral in fitting the dinosaur's name into it.
Is it Raptor 2?
He's done it! It's a flawless run!
Don't jinx
my
it.
goodness.
Don't jinx it,
Sorry,
Mr. Brown.
sorry.
Particularly this next one. I'm a bit
Oh
worried.
no! What's he done?
When a diver sees his career spiral after losing his crew to a herbivore beast that no one believes he saw, the diver is thrust back into the fray when it appears that same plated creature is back for more. Called into action, the diver must avoid the beast's deadly, spiky tail and prevent it from devouring more victims. A big old beast.
Big one.
Really
Like
big.
yeah, like a prehistoric one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the steg?
He's done it!
Jason Statham.
Jason
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham, they're doing movie mashups.
He's a megalodon.
It's a megalodon. It's a mega mashup, Mr. Brown.
Oh my goodness.
Join the crew.
Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. After his beloved passes away, a vampire puts his love life on hold for several years until he employs Jonathan Harker and forms an unhealthy obsession with his fiancée, believing her to be the reincarnation of his late wife. Unable to leave her alone, he woos her with his sexy vampire charms and sinks his teeth into her long neck.
Is it Brack Stoker's Dracula?
No!
Oh, no.
It is Bram Stoker's Dracula!
Oh, damn! By the
Close enough.
was-
Close enough.
I
You had
did-
the
I
right
got the
film and the
dinosaur.
right dinosaur.
Wanted to know where-
You just replaced
where's the
Bram
Brack
with
go?
Brack instead of Drac with Brack.
Yeah.
You know I love a good rhyme.
This is true. I should have known. Anyway.
So that was originally going to be Brack to the Future.
Oh, good.
But you wanted to call
didn't say
back
I
to
wanted
old,
one, but-
old Bram Stoker's.
Old Bram.
Oh.
Old Bram. Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
This is my last one.
All right, go for it.
In this 80s classic action and very horny film, a young lieutenant and his co-pilot are invited to join a prestigious school to battle and charge against other pilots to work out who is the best in the sky with a three-pronged attack.
Is it Triceratop Gun?
He's got it!
Oh, it's a clean sweep! It's a clean sweep. All right. This is the one that I moved to the end because
I'm putting my notes down, I'm
this
ready.
is the one I'm happiest
Yeah.
with. All right.
To give the listeners a little bit of backstory, I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Brown happier when he had devised this mashup. So I have been anticipating this for several hours today.
All right.
Bring it home, Mr. Brown. Come on.
After his girlfriend breaks up with him, a heartbroken guy decides to take a vacation to help him get over the relationship. His plan is derailed when he discovers his ex is also staying at the same resort with her new horny pop star boyfriend. He is distracted by the company of one of the hotel staff, but is confused about his feelings when his ex reveals she may have made a big mistake, and he must decide who he cares more about in this three-pointed love triangle.
It is Forgetting Tricera Marshall.
He's done it! That is 12 films, all done to perfection.
We crushed that.
Oh my goodness.
That's the power of the dinosaurs.
Mate.
The power of the Great Valley.
I was feeling good going into this one, but I could not have anticipated such a clean run.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I loved that. I loved too that we also did them in a similar order. So like it would be like Triceratops,
Yeah.
Pterodactyl.
That was quite useful.
So good.
What a run. What a run.
What a run! And we're all getting out of here on time today.
Woo!
Oh dear. As always, guys, please do remember to like, subscribe, share it around. Did you miss the video pod? We don't care. We like it like this. No, please do let us know because we've still got a couple more before the end of the year, so we can do some fun segments. We're gonna
Maybe
do
some little Christmas.
Yeah,
Little
do
Christmas thing.
Christmas ep. We're going to do a best of for some different categories in the final episode as well.
Yep.
And on that note, we're going to velociraptor things up there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Catch you next film club.
Thanks very much, guys. Catch you at the next film club.